Well, y'all, I am back, and we are back into the story. Day 3, starting on page 9, still in creation. And so, where we got to the end of it, we were, well, just getting into some stuff with Noah. And in there with Noah, we'll do a little recap from the start of page 9. He was talking about you were to bring into the ark two of all living creatures, male and female, to keep them alive with you. Two of every kind of bird, of every kind of animal, and of every kind of creature that moves along the ground will come to you to be kept alive. You are to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and store it away as food for you and for them. Noah did everything just as God commanded him. The Lord then said to Noah, "Go into the ark, you and your whole family, because I have found you righteous in this generation. 7 days from now, I will send rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. I will wipe from the face of the earth every living creature I have made." Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters came on the earth. And Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives entered the ark to escape the waters of the flood. Pairs of clean and unclean animals, of birds and of all creatures that move along the ground, male and female, came to Noah and entered the ark, as God had commanded Noah. And after the 7 days, the flood waters came on the earth. How amazing. We're getting into some flood, bud. Well, okay. There's people that might look at this that are not you, Sunny D. So I'm making it for them too. But for you, yeah, because you said you was wanting to hear it. So here you go. You got it. A little bit more. On that very day, Noah and his sons, Shem, Ham, Japheth, together with his wife and the wives of his 3 sons, entered the ark. They had with them every wild animal according to its kind, all livestock according to their kinds, every creature that moves along the ground according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind, everything with wings, pairs of all creatures that have the breath of life in them, came to Noah and entered the ark. The animals going in were male and female, of every living thing, as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord shut him in. For 40 days the flood kept coming on the earth, and as the waters increased, they lifted the ark high above the earth. The water rose and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the water. They rose greatly on the earth, and all the high mountains under the entire heavens were covered. Mountains, dude. We ain't talking about water coming up and splashing on your feet while you're on the beach. Mountains. Big dudes, like out in the Rockies, Alps, all that. Mountains. Covered. Mount Sinai. Covered. How? Who knows? God. Flood. He did it. The waters rose and covered the mountains to a depth of more than 15 cubits. Once again, a measurement. Don't really know. I think a cubit. I don't know. I can't remember what a cubit is, but I thought something like 18 inches, but I think that's way off. I think like one of the measurements they used back then was like equivalent to about 18 inches today. But who cares? It's just a measurement. We could call it 3,000 bananas. Who knows what an average banana height is? No one. So we're just making these numbers up right now until we figure that out. We have to do a deep dive into the cubit, I guess. Every living thing that moved on the land perished. birds, livestock, wild animals, all the creatures that swarm over the earth, and all mankind. Everything in dry land that had the breath of life in its nostrils died. Every living thing on the face of the earth was wiped out. People and animals and the creatures that move along the ground.
This
and
is
the
an E-Dispatch's
birds.
pre-alert. Your full alert will arrive.
So I don't know if you heard that or saw any of that. I paused it because it said, "This is an E-Dispatch." Okay, y'all, it was just a pager test. I paused. Some people probably would go in and edit videos. Nope. You're getting it just like it happened. E-Dispatch, done paged. But luckily it was just a test. So, back to where I think we were roughly leaving off. And that was that they all got flooded out and died, basically, right? Only Noah was left, those with him in the ark. The waters flooded the earth for 150 days. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and the livestock that were with him in the ark. And he sent a wind over the earth, and the waters receded. Now the spring of the deep and the floodgates of the heavens had been closed, and the rain had stopped falling from the sky. The water receded steadily from the earth. At the end of the 150 days, the water had gone down. And on the 17th day of the 7th month, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat, and the waters continued to recede until the 10th month. And on the first day of the 10th month, the top of the mountains became visible. That's a long time not to see mountains. By the first day of the first month of Noah's 601st year, the waters had dried up from the earth. Noah then removed the covering from the ark and saw that the surface of the ground was dry. By the 27th day of the second month, the earth was completely dry. Then God said to Noah, "Come out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons and their wives. Bring out every kind of living creature that is with you, the birds, the animals, and all the creatures that move along the ground, so they can multiply on the earth and be fruitful and increase in number on it." God's always telling them to multiply. Get out there and multiply, y'all. Them little critters, they got to make more critters. Because if they don't make more cows, where are we going to get a KC strip? Think about that. God knew I needed a KC strip, so he's making that happen. He said, go out there and you multiply, right? So it says, so Noah came out together with his sons and his wife and his sons' wives, all the animals and all the creatures that move along the ground, and all the birds, everything that moves on the land came out of the ark, one kind after another. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and taking some of all the clean animals and the clean birds, he sacrificed burnt offerings on it. The Lord smelled the pleasing aroma and said in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans." Not because of humans. Even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. And never again will I destroy all living creatures as I have done. Then God blessed Noah and his sons, saying to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth." Not just the animals, the people too. Fill the earth. "The fear and the dread of you will fall on all the beasts of the earth and on the birds in the sky, on every creature that moves along the ground, and on all the fish in the sea. They are given into your hands." Skeeters ain't afraid of you, though. Mad skeeters, they're gonna attack. Anyway, then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, "I now establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with you, the birds, the livestock, and all the wild animals, all those that came out of the ark with you. Every living creature on earth I establish my covenant with you. Never again will never again will all life be destroyed by the waters. Not going to happen there, right? Of a flood. Well, a flood ain't going to do it. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, "This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, the covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth." And every time we see that rainbow up in the sky, amazing. God's made us a promise, and guess what? His promises are always true. So we got a promise. We ain't got to worry about Mr. Flood. He might come and flood a little place, but he ain't flooding everything. Don't worry about building that ark. You people over in Africa building the arks, he's not doing it that way. He said it. Not going to happen. Yeah, don't plan on that one, okay? Anyway, whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and the living creatures of every kind on the earth. The earth recovered from its great flood. Animal and plant life flourished. Noah's family repopulated the earth, and the cycle of life continued. The people remembered God. Ancient businesses grew. Homesteads and farms developed. Trade routes brought wealth and opportunity for travel. It was a time for God's next move, time to build a nation in a land that would become the cultural and ethnic home to, well, that part of the story is yet to come. Abraham, whose name God later changed to Abram. It didn't say Abraham. I read Abraham, but it said Abram, whose name God later changed to Abraham, had all the wrong qualifications for being a founder of God's nation. His relatives worshipped other gods in a country far from what would become the promised land. Abram and his wife, Sarai, whose name God later changed to Sarah, were way beyond childbearing years, and Sarai couldn't get pregnant. No children meant no people to populate God's nation. No problem. God promised the impossible to Abram, and Abram watched as the impossible occurred. Here's how it happened. That is the end of chapter 1. Chapter 2 will be starting next, and that is God Builds a Nation. We are going to stop our reading of that book right now, dude. Chapter 1 done. Look at there. I'm under 15 minutes. Somehow that worked, and we knocked out a chapter. Definitely not the Bible. Do not take this as every word from because it's not. It's shortened. They've added stuff that they're commentating on it, but I think it's going to be good. It's giving us a story format of what God's Bible is. And at the time that I am doing this, I am thinking right here sitting before me is my 3-year-old grandson. Now, Son of D, this thing is going to be on the internet forever. You could click back on it and you could be 30 years old. So if it sounds like I'm talking to a little 3-year-old, it's because you were. Yeah. Pop is talking to Mr. Sonny D and anybody else that wants to listen to the book, The Story. If I don't know how good it is to listen to someone read, but that's what it is. I will come back tomorrow and I will get some more. We're going to try to read this whole book. I thought it was a Bible. I really did. I thought it was a chronological Bible. It's The Story. That's the name of it. I guess I hadn't researched it absolutely at all. But I love you. I love all y'all subscribers. I thank you for tuning in for yet third day of this wondrous little book we're reading called The Story. I hope it's amazing to you guys. And you have a blessed day. Be blessed. Enjoy it. Love y'all. Bye.